Hey guys, in this video we'll create this dashboard admin UI design in Sketch, and we'll create it step by step so that you can learn all of the best practices and all of the steps required in order to create this dashboard and any type of dashboard you like, really, being for a personal project or a client project. We're going to learn a lot of golden nuggets in this video, so be sure to stick till the end, and without further ado, let's just jump into the video. Hey guys, so we're back again in this dashboard UI kit in which we're building, and you can follow along this tutorial even though you're just interested in building this admin UI design. However, this is actually a series of a playlist in which we're creating an entire UI kit dashboard from scratch. So if you'd like to see the process in which we're creating these two other screens, a design system, and the entire UI kit that we're going to create, to be honest, which I think it's going to be approximately around 40 screens, feel free to check out the other videos on my channel playlist. Now, in this case, we're just going to duplicate this screen over here. We are going to remove all of these elements, and basically the screen is 1440 by 1024. And we don't have much going on apart from this side menu, which is a symbol. If you double click on it, you can see it's a symbol with a few icons, a bottom profile picture, and yeah, that's basically it. What we did is we also have these text styles and color styles to guide us through the design system. Now, in this case, we're just going to create the structure first. So I'm just going to create this rectangle in order to lay down the foundation for this next section. And another thing we're just going to duplicate, or actually let me just duplicate this element over here just to have some reference when it comes to the guides. And as you can see, when you're duplicating an element in Sketch, a very nice thing happens, and that is that most of the times it will duplicate it in the same position as the one in the other artboard. So this can be pretty handy for doing quick measurements. So I just laid out these two guides over here, and yeah, I'm just going to move them now. Just going to play around with the layout a little bit, just to have the feeling of what I'd be ideally looking for to do over here. So maybe you want something like this. I think this could be a nice start, but yeah, let's not be too focused at the moment. So as I'm doing this, I'm literally like playing around with concepts and trying to visualize something which looks good. So I did a wireframe before starting this, but I don't have like a very clear picture. So so far I'm just playing around with the concept, not being too strict with what I'm aiming to do. So yeah, so over here I think we're going to have this list, and maybe something around these lines could work. I'll drop a line. So as you can see, I'm just taking elements from this other artboard. But if you're starting from scratch, I mean, you can totally like just create these elements by yourself, and you can style them in the inspector panel according to what you would like them to be. So now it's a pretty straightforward thing to do, so it's not a big deal. Let's get over here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm going to try and just leave it like this for now. Let's just create a symbol. And the reason why I'm creating a symbol is because I'm going to have a lot of these repeating elements throughout, and we're going to name it list, and then 2. And let's just duplicate this a few times and apply the same style as this one, which I'm not too sure about quite yet, but I think this has potential. So let me bring the side menu on top of it, and the reason being is that I want to create some hierarchy, just like you would usually see in Google Material icons, or actually Google Material design in general. So they like to play around with hierarchy and like visual hierarchy a lot, so they would have like one element on top of the other if it's more relevant, or they want to give them that element more emphasis. So yeah, I mean, that's something that we can totally do in this case too. We might have a title on top, and so I'm just going to create some text over here, and we're going to use a heading 2, which we previously styled. And let me go ahead, heading 2, and we are going to name this as admin. Now again, you don't have to be like too strict with the rules and the visuals that you're creating in over here. Yet again, I think that it could be beneficial to have some sort of visual color over here. This might be something which has to do with a list. So in this case, I'm going to create a oval, circle. Let's give it a primary color, just right here. And yeah, let's just see how this looks. Okay, this could be interesting. Since this adds an additional layer of information and data visualization. So let me just bring this circle on more on the left, so that you can have some more some space, looking a little bit more clean overall, so that it has some breathing room on the right. And as you can see, the cool thing about creating this color styles design system is that once we establish it, we can go here and we can change the color of the oval directly from the design system. So in case you are going to change the colors in the design system, these will all automatically update. So you can start seeing how the design system can really work to your advantage when it comes to things like just being efficient overall. So let's just try a solid color of green, and we're going to have a few of these in orange. And I think this could be something useful for the person who will use this UI kit, since this might be a panel for a notification for some specific notifications which are either yes or no. So this is starting to look interesting. And over here, let's create some data about a specific notification. So I'm actually going to go ahead and create a notification which is selected. So let me give it a test over here, and let's create a overlay behind this one. or actually almost a selected effect. So here we go, and I am going to use the primary color, the secondary color, and let's just give it a little bit of opacity, which by the way, I'm changing the opacity by simply using the numbers on my keyboard. And as you can see, if I click on 5, the opacity is going to be 50%. If it's 9, 90%, to 20%, and so on. So just a nice way to visualize some different types. So we have border 2. I think border 2 could be interesting. It's quite minimal. It's not really too much in your face, but actually in this case, I think it's a good point to create a active effect. So we might decide upon the active. Sorry if you feel that I'm rambling a little bit. I'm just trying to envision this thing at the same time as I am speaking about it. So I'm literally like speaking out loud what I'm thinking about. There really isn't like too much like thought that was going into this when I first started, because as I already mentioned, I'm creating this UI kit live with you guys, and there really isn't anything that I created prior to this. I just wanted to give you like the raw experience of what it is to actually create a UI kit from scratch. So let's bring back sign menu again. Okay, so I think we're heading in some direction. I'm not too sure about the hover effect over here just yet, but I think we're definitely getting closer. So anyways, let's just continue with this part over here. Let's give it a heading 1, and we are going to write overview over here. And this is going to be the main overview of this dashboard. So in this case, we could use some tables similar to these ones, but we're going to mix things up a little bit. And not sure if I wanted this big, so let me just try the heading 2 instead. And we're going to use a line to differentiate, to divide this section up. So let's just start by experimenting with this layout, and let's just try these things up. So I'm just going to create a list now, which is going to be the list of this overview section. So let's just go like this, duplicate the elements just a few times. And over here, I'm going to use this option, which is distribute horizontally, which is a great way to basically distribute these in equal spaces between one and the other. And yes, this will help us out a little bit in the visualization process. Now, let me lock this layer up, and I'm going to use a icon over here. So I'm using this plugin, which is icon font. And over here, if you go under grid insert, you can find the material icons in a nice window. So you can actually download this plugin for free. So just Google it, and you're going to find it immediately. Just Google like icon font sketch plugin, and you're going to find it like straight away. So let's just add some elements for maybe like a button call to action, or actually a right call to action. Let's use icon font again, grid insert material, and we're going to use a add button. So these are going to be the two icons call to actions at the very end, and let's distribute horizontally again, so that now it's going to take in consideration the new icon. It's going to this text is going to be redistribute horizontally based on that. Now what we're going to do in this case is to use the sketch plugin called Craft by InVision, and we're going to use the data feature, and we're going to add let me see, we're going to add an email, or actually even better than that, I think it's going to be more contained if we use a phone number, which is over here, a time, and let's use either sent or received. So this is going to be the options. And the Craft plugin, by the way, it's an amazing plugin which I strongly recommend you to download. Like, I'm not affiliated to InVision in any way. I just really like their products overall. Like, I personally use InVision all of the time. I have the premium like membership subscription. I can't recall what that is called, but it's an amazing software for prototyping and showing clients the projects, and always be on top on project revisions and stuff like that. So it's a really great software which I recommend, and I use it almost daily when I'm working with client work. So yeah, that's that. And so I think we're in good shape when it comes to these over here. Not too sure what I want to do with the lines. So let me actually duplicate this just like that, and I'm going to create a new symbol. Over here we have list 2. Now we do have a few symbols, and it's starting to get a little bit messy in this artboard. So one thing which I discovered recently is this plugin called right here, Symbol Organizer, and it's an amazing plugin which allows you to organize all of the symbols in a very fast way. Usually it would take me like hours upon hours, especially when we're working on complicated projects, but with Symbol Organizer I can organize my symbols in a very fast and efficient way. So I won't go too much into the details over here, just a few things to keep in mind. You either like the symbols vertically or horizontally, and you can select it from here. I prefer it vertically, but horizontally is also totally fine, and I used it in several projects. Now I will set the horizontal space between one element to the other to 100, and the vertical space to 200, just because I want to have a little bit more wiggle room when it comes to the vertical height. So as I said, these options here, just click on organize, and boom, there's some magic going on. So basically you can see that the symbols are organized. The great thing is that they're organized according with labels, which is an amazing thing. So the very first set of text which you created is going to be the actual label. So this allows us to organize things very efficiently. So yeah, that's that, and this is going to be a list 2, and we're going to create list 1. So list 1, and we are in business. So let's just duplicate this just a few times. Okay, perfect. Now, one thing that you might notice is that the lines over here are a little bit bigger. So what happens that the two lines aren't intersecting correctly, aren't overlapping. So I just need to like adjust this real quick. So let's just move them like 1 pixel up, and this should solve it pretty easily. You might consider not even using the lines in the symbols and just adding them afterwards, but you know, it's just something that I figured like could work in this case, so we can totally do it. We don't have like any strict rules in this project, so that's always something positive. So yeah, here we go. I think we're in pretty good shape. Now I'm just going to use the other artboard as a reference for the height, since I think that I'm going to make this rectangle over here a little bit bigger, just so that the height will match the other screens, in order to have some more visual consistency overall. And yeah, let's just make this go a little bit higher, and I think I'm going to duplicate this one more time, and maybe just the last one with a call to action to view more. So I'm going to duplicate this just once, and I'm going to add the view more, and what I'm gonna do is to use a text style which could be good for the view more. So I think that the heading 4 is a good one. So I'm just gonna go here, view more. Maybe it's a little bit too big. Not quite sure about it. So this might be a good occasion for us to create a heading 5, and yeah, I think this one is a little bit too much for what we're looking for. So let's create a heading 5. Let's update it actually, because we already created, maybe to 13. Let's update the text style, go over here, and I'm going to change this to heading 5 and center. So I think this is looking more reasonable for the specific dashboard design that we're looking to create, or that we're actually creating. So yeah, I think this is looking, yeah, this is definitely looking better, and yeah, I'm quite pleased with the results that we're having so far. So over here I would add something on the right, something like a call to action, yeah, like a filter by, and maybe an export section. So, or actually even better than a filter, we could use this calendar option, which would make sense in these type of lists when I'm usually working on them for clients' projects. I would usually have some sort of calendar reference over here. So yeah, that's making sense. And let's just go ahead and use a different border. So over here we don't have any style, but we're going to create two calendars. So the first one is going to be the shadow. And the second one is going to be the one with solid line. So let's just select the rectangle, add a border outline. I'm going to select 1.5. Let's give it a try, or maybe even less than that, maybe 0.75. Maybe instead of 0.75 we can just change it to 1 in this case. So it's going to use 1 over here, and we're going to update the layer style. We're also going to update this border outline text. So instead of saying 0.75, we're just going to say 1. And we are going to update this one as well. Okay, so I think we're in good shape when it comes to this part over here. And yeah, at this point, what I would do is to go ahead, save all with Command S, first of all. And another thing that I would do is to change the names over here. So I'm just gonna use this small plugin, the data plugin. So let me just redo it with these names over here because they're a little bit too long. So yeah, I think something around these lines will work pretty well. Let me just adjust this a little bit. So again, guys, we're just playing around with these concepts, adding some random data, and this will be of great use for the person who's actually is going to use this UI kit. So let's go ahead here, just change all of these phone numbers. And I'm using the craft plugin, as you can see, and basically this allows us to change, to make in bulk change in a very fast and efficient way, which can be a real time saver when it comes to this process. Now, some of it is pretty redundant, and you know, it's going to be just some boring task really, but you know, at the end of the day, it's all going to be worth it. So I hope you're enjoying this video series. I'm planning on making many more of them, so if you have any suggestions regarding the next video series or the next type of videos, please write a comment down in the comment section, because your feedback for me is gold, and I'm always looking forward to hear from you. And by the way, also sending comments will allow you to support my channel, and because it gives like a little YouTube ranking boost. So you know, that is definitely like a way you can support the channel for free in less than a minute. So yeah, that I would really appreciate that if you can do it. So yeah, let's just continue with this section over here, and let's go ahead and add some different text over here. So instead of sent, we're going to use the word received, just to add some a little bit of a different vibe to this, or different data. Now let's add some different time. Let's go ahead again under craft. So as you can see, sometimes I'm using craft, sometimes I am using data, depending on the text really. And you know, both of them work pretty fine. Like they're both amazing, to be honest. But you know, I just use craft from time to time, and data in other cases. So in this case, you know, I'm using data for names and for whatever I have already set up in this. So basically, I only have names and world cities, as you can see, and data is quicker because it doesn't. I don't need to do all that pop-up things that we did just a few moments ago. So you know, that's pretty cool. I think I'm going to change the dates with world cities instead, just to make our lives easier. So yeah, I think we're in a pretty good shape. Let me just change this name too. So I think we are pretty set over here. Now let's just finish off the video with some layers organization, and we're also going to set up this active state. So this is going to be the new active. So update layer style, and I'm going to copy this style over here. The UI state. Okay, so we already have that updated, of course, because it's synced with the design system. So we're in pretty good shape over here. Let's just change this name again because it's a little bit too big. Okay, perfect. So first of all, we're going to select all of this, and we are going to use the plugin called this one here, Sketch Cleaner. We're going to sort the layers in based on their Y position. So basically, this is going to sort them based on their Y position, starting from the top to the bottom. So everything is well organized over here. And I'm also going to select this panel here, and I'm going to group it by using Command+G, so that we have this side menu. So we're just going to select it, large menu, large side menu, and we're going to add the relocate it over here, and let's do the same with these ones. So again, sort layers based on their Y position. Here we're going to have the overview and the calendar on the top. So let's group this and rename it under calendar. So this is well organized. This one too is pretty set. This is going to be a background. And yeah, let's just group all of these together. This is going to be main, since it's going to be the main area that the user is going to look at and act on. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're interested in supporting my channel, feel free to leave a comment below. Just talk about you know, if you have any questions or would like any suggestions to this series or for upcoming series, because as I mentioned earlier, by doing that, it's going to give like a very small SEO boost in YouTube, and also having your feedback for me is like super important, because at the end of the day, guys, like I'm doing these tutorials for you to learn, because I already know these things. So I'm always curious to learn what you would like to learn, really. So this is something which is very important. And if you like this kind of videos, on my channel I'm creating videos on both software tutorials such as this one, and also on the freelance design business, because as you may know or not know, I'm a full-time UI UX designer. I'm working 100% remotely with clients from all around the world, from small startups to multi-million dollar companies. And yeah, so I'm sharing both personal videos on how you can improve your freelance design business, and these type of software tutorials on my channel. So feel free to check it out. And yeah, if you're interested in learning more about the dashboard design, I'm making this entire series in which we're creating an entire UI kit dashboard from scratch. So if you're interested in that, feel free to check out the playlist regarding it. So I hope this video was useful and provided a ton of value, and I'll see you in the next video.